Straight from the underground, fat girl from the mound. Spit it how I live it, keep it gutter. That's how we get down. And I want to see you get it crunk. Let a nigga know what hood you from. Everybody with me, drunk as fuck, breaking down and rolling up. Back it up. A girl like you, a nigga like me can't pass it up. Rolling by, looking good. Put it in reverse and back it up. What's the deal? Let me make this clear. What you got right here, they broke the mold. One of a kind. Kim Brown with a gold mouth full of shine. Hard to test. Sorry to tell you, them boys out here ain't hard as us. Stalling G, cause of the streets are a part of us. Lay it down. Please remember games. We don't play them now. Disrespect. Please remember stains. We gon' spray them now. Bust a nigga head. Smack a hoe. Shoot the club up. Woo! Oh, it's so glorious. I love ignorant music. There is a part of me that will never put down my ignorant country rap tune. Shout out to Ball and G representing that Tennessee. What's going on, everybody? Welcome to the Friday edition of Burning Down with Kim Brown. This is a place where we set oppression and rap verses ablaze. Good to see you guys up in here. Our deepest apologies for running a bit late. You know what I'm saying? We working class black folks out here. Sometimes the man be holding us up, but he can't hold us back. Takes a nation of millions to do that. But we here now. That's the most important thing. And you guys are here joining us. So thanks so much to all with amazing attendance. Thank you so much to Latif. What's up, Holly Horn? Who else we got in here? Warren Aura. Fran Francais, Cynical in the building. Who else we got up in here? Hey, come on in here. Shout out to all the illustrious mods. Don Hammond, my nephew, is in the building. What's up, nephew? Sugar Shan. What's up, J-Town? Come on in here. Appreciate, love to see our folks up in here. Please hit the like button, smash that subscribe if you get a chance. So, guys, you know, I'm generally annoyed with everything. and in spite of all the insanity and chaos that is happening right here in the United States, you know, we're going to take a time to go on some macro levels of some stories, not just in the U.S., but there was a breaking story out of the U.K. Apparently, a famous dirtbag might be going down, at minimum has been charged and hopefully permanently disgraced. We'll see about that. But I have some other stories I wanted to get to tonight, including, this is a story that came out a couple of weeks ago out of Chicago. But what it said to me was, oh, there's going to be no repercussions for white folks harming non-white folks at all. A 10-year-old girl, she's not 10 now, but she's 12 now, was 10 when this attack occurred. This little girl was attacked by this racist white woman in Chicago, cut her face, did all kinds of the little girl required surgery. She lost some vision in one eye. Just, I mean, abhorrent. And ultimately very violent attack on this young girl. Why is this white bitch not going to jail? And and other women are not protected out here stories. The story pertaining to Ramisha Oster, I hope I'm saying her name correctly, the Turkish national who was not only a student at Tufts University in Massachusetts, but also a professor, also a member of SEIU, and only the co-author, allegedly, of a piece that appeared in a student newspaper expressing support for the Palestinians. This is our current iteration of fascism, and it seems to become more and more emboldened. So anyway, actually, let's go ahead and get started. Like I said, guys, hit that like button for me, please. I certainly would appreciate it. So I want to go ahead with the breaking news out of the UK. Now, y'all, entertainment news as it pertains to broader social issues, I think, are things definitely worth talking about. So the comedian, actor, and apparently very successful podcast host, Russell Brand, has been charged with a number of sex offenses, including rape, over a period of at least a few years. And these charges are not recent. I mean, the charges are recent, but the accusations date back 20 years plus, right? And it kind of gives me a glimmer of hope, right? I am glad that we are living in times where at least accusations, well, some accusations don't go wholesale ignored, right? I want to go to the package and then we'll come back and talk about it. So I think this package is from Sky News, as you can imagine, uh, the latest relatively big entertainer, even though Russell Brand is not my cup of tea. I do not find this motherfucker funny. I think I might have listened to a couple episodes of his podcast. His biggest offense up until these nefarious charges was, why did they cast him to remake Arthur? I was so mad. I said, this motherfucker ain't nowhere close to Dudley Moore. This is a disgraceful casting, and shame on him for accepting such a iconic role. I do not use iconic lightly when I'm talking about Dudley Moore's Arthur. And I'm like, they got this fucking douchebag to do Dudley Moore. Get the fuck out of here. So anyway, let's go to the Sky News package detailing Russell Brand's official criminal charges as it pertains to sex assault.
We begin this hour with breaking news that the comedian Russell Brand has been charged with sexual assault offences, including rape and indecent assault. Our correspondent Ashna Hurnag is here for more on this. This is a press release from the Metropolitan Police. What have we heard?
Well, we know that detectives have been investigating the 50-year-old comedian since September 2023 after the broadcasting of a Channel 4 Dispatches documentary in conjunction with The Times and The Sunday Times, an investigation that aired then. Following that, a number of allegations were brought to the Metropolitan Police and they began investigating the comedian. It was alleged at the time by several women that one woman was raped in the Bournemouth area in 1999. In 2001, there was another allegation of a woman being indecently assaulted in London, and again in 2004 another woman was orally raped and sexually assaulted also in the capital, and again in 2004 and 2005 a woman was sexually assaulted again in London. Today, as you say, the Metropolitan Police have now charged Russell Brand with 1 count of rape, 1 count of indecent assault, 1 count of oral rape and 2 counts of sexual assault between 1999 and 2005, and the charges relate to 4 separate women. We've heard from Detective Superintendent Andy Furphy. He has been leading this investigation since it began, as I say, in 2023. He has said that the women who have made the reports continue to receive support from specially trained officers. The Met's investigation remains open, and detectives ask anyone who's been affected by this case or anyone who has any information to come forward and speak with police. A dedicated team of investigators, he goes on to say, is available to them. Brand, at the time of these allegations being made, he denied them and previously has said that his relationships have always been consensual. He will now appear at Westminster Magistrates Court on Friday, the 2nd of May.
Ashna, appreciate the update. Thank you so much.
So, gang, I always rejoice and celebrate when a dirtbag is either exposed or goes down in some way. 4 accusers that we know about, right? And to be clear, these are the 4 that came forward. These are the 4 that decided to make an official statement. We know that in the single digits of percentages of people who are sexually assaulted are the ones that will actually come forward and go on the record and make an accusation. So when I hear 4, everybody remember their multiples of 4, right? What do y'all think? You think it's 8? You think it's 12? You think it's 16? What's the real number? 4 is the number on the record. What's the actual number? Because we know that predators and abusers usually harm many victims over long periods of time. And if these accusations are true, I think they're true. But you know, if these allegations, let me do all the fucking caveats. Why Russell Brand would be wasting his time suing me, but just in case, if these accusations are true, you think this person with 4 confirmations or confirmed allegations. Let's say that. With 4 confirmed allegations, you think they stopped at 4 in 2005? Didn't he get more famous after 2005? Possibly giving him more access to more victims as his fame and celebrity grew, perhaps making it less likely that somebody would come forward and accuse him on the record, because Russell Brand, he ain't shit to me, but I understand that, he's indeed very famous. Dare I say, I think he's even more famous for his podcast than he is for his acting / comedic career. Amazing. How is he a red pillar? Do you guys know? Is he one of those red pill manosphere? Like I said, I try to avoid. I absolutely try to avoid. And on one hand, it's good that the Metropolitan Police of London took these accusations seriously enough. But again, were they only taking these accusations seriously because they were against a so-called big fish, right? The police like to go big game hunting, right? They like to have big, splashy headlines. They love to get involved in an investigation that could potentially take down a famous person, I guess, depending on the person's level of fame and their connections, let's say, in the background, because, some famous people never get investigated, right? Despite numerous allegations that don't seem to go anywhere. I wonder if the Metropolitan Police of London, do they put this same amount of effort into finding non-famous, non-celebrity sexual abusers, grapers? I wonder. So Russell Brand, I'm thinking, again, I can't limit it to just comedy, because I was thinking, oh, who else had these similar accusations? Well, Louis C.K. was accused of just being a fucking creep, which is enough. But with mild cancellation, Louis C.K. still selling out comedy clubs across the country, still very much having a fan base that did not cancel him. He may not have had certain opportunities given to him because of the allegations, but Louis C.K. is not, he ain't in the chow line. He ain't hanging in the chow line. It is not bad times for Louis C.K. I'm sure Louis C.K. is chilling in his $20 million mansion. Accusations be damned. And that's kind of my concern about whatever this is with Russell Brand. I'm not certain what the threshold of beyond a reasonable doubt is in British courts, in the crown system, as it were. I'm not sure what burdens that the prosecutors are going to have to prove / overcome with 25-year-old allegations. Obviously, there may not be the use of forensic evidence to prove perhaps beyond a reasonable doubt. But again, I don't know what the reasonable doubt burden is in UK courts. So my concern is somebody who is famous with a big platform and wealthy can afford, I'm certain, the elite level barrister and top level defense. What's going to happen? And what happens when, big name people who are accused of such crimes, when they don't get convicted, when they do end up going free? It does shake people's faith in the system, and it does make people less likely to come forward. But from what I understand, there have not been any civil, at least as it pertains to these 4 accusers of Russell Brand. I don't think that anybody has sued him civilly as of yet, as was the case with boxer Conor McGregor, who got sued in a Irish civil court and was found liable to have committed the crimes, but he just had to pay money. He had to write a check. He's not going to jail and doesn't stand the risk of going to jail in that particular case. So I don't know if Russell Brand, again, I just don't have a lot of faith in criminal justice when it comes to survivors of sex assault. To bring charges is one thing, to get a conviction is a whole nother bar. And even say if a conviction is obtained, judges tend to be fairly lenient on so-called first-time offenders. I think people like Jeffrey Epstein and Harvey Weinstein had the book thrown at them simply because of the number of accusers. Jeffrey Epstein, because of the age of his victims, right? But I don't know. Like when I look at what's going on with Diddy and and Diddy's defense is slowly starting to um reveal their strategy, and what Diddy claims in his defense, it sounds plausible. It does. That people who I suppose were paid because he's accused of doing sex trafficking, he claims, or his defense claims, that everybody was a consenting adult and that he's being persecuted because he's a black man, and he's also being persecuted I guess for having exotic, I guess is what his defense alleges, for having, I guess, exotic sexual tastes, right? Outside of the hetero norm. And Diddy says that he is free to have kinky sex so long as everybody consents, and he claims that everybody did. So now the prosecution is going to have to prove that everybody didn't consent. I don't know. Diddy is a black man in America, but he's also a rich man in America. Okay. And Diddy ain't sitting on $1 billion to not spend at least $100 million on a very expensive and probably top-notch defense. So when we see visible folks being charged, number one, I think of all the non-famous, non-visible people who will never face charges for any variety of reasons. Either the victims themselves are afraid to come forward, the person may hold a certain position in the community, like a member of the clergy, like a teacher, like a coach, like a business person. And victims would be afraid to make an accusation against such people. So we're not there yet. Thankfully, I guess we've evolved. Like as I'm saying these words, I'm like, I'm like, am I thankful and have we evolved? But thankfully, we have evolved. We're at a point in time where at least an accusation can be made, and 1 out of 10 might be taken seriously. Is that progress? Are we progressing? At a snail's pace. Get me out of here. Russell Brand's court date is next one will be in May. Expect that to be a media circus. We'll stay on top of this one. I wanted to move along to another story, and we know about the thousands of folks that have been captured. I can't even say captured. Let me rescind that. Who have been kidnapped, literally off the streets of the United States. People who are migrants, some with valid legal reason to be here, to live here, to work here, some undocumented, and some who are themselves students. And we've seen a number of these students, most notably Mahmoud Khalil from Columbia University. And then the story about the Turkish sister, Ramisha. Am I saying her name right? I think it's Marmisha Oyster from Tufts University. She herself a student and a professor. And, shout out to her union, SEIU. I can't remember what, I think it's SEIU 580. Correct me if you guys know which chapter of SEIU that she is affiliated with. But I saw her union brothers and sisters come out in a rally in support of her. Of course, we know a federal judge said that she cannot be deported, but at the same time, she's not being released or let out. And to be clear, she's not charged with any crimes. She hasn't done anything criminally, but exercised her right to free speech, which as a visa holder, she is fully entitled to do. And the crazy shit about some of these accusations in terms of, oh, well, they're accused of supporting Hamas. I don't even know what the fuck that means. Like, Is Hamas running a GoFundMe and niggas sent $5 to Hamas? Like, what are we talking about when we talk about support? Are we talking about material support? Are we talking about simply lauding up the fact that they are in favor of Palestinian resistance, in favor of Palestinian survival against an actual genocide? Like, what? The fact that the administration refuses or cannot, either way, it's terrible, but refuses or cannot define in very explicit terms what, quote, supporting Hamas means. And that's scary, guys. It's scary for all the people that find themselves now with revoked visas. And I told you this, it's scary for us American citizens who have gone very vocally, repeatedly on the record as standing against Zionism and standing in support and solidarity with the Palestinian people and opposing the United States' role in this ongoing genocide, the ongoing starvation, the ongoing bombing, the ongoing decimation and ethnic cleansing of the people of Gaza. We stand firmly against that on the record. Suck a dick, Trump administration. But anyway, I want to show you guys some protest footage and rally footage in support of Ramisha, who, like I said, remains detained in ICE custody without any criminal charges. This package, I believe, is from Al Jazeera Plus. So let's take a look at that. Are we going to take a look at that? It will.
The U.S. government is deliberately trying to target our movement and scare us into silence, but we will not be silent. When they come for one of us, they come for all of us. A People's United movement is the only thing that can turn the tides of history. This did not start, nor will it end with Rumesa Oster.
If they want to once again bring NYPD or any law enforcement, we will prevail.
We will not stop until Rumesa is free. We won't stop until Mahmoud Khalil is free. We won't stop until our universities divest from Israel. We will not stop until our people in Yemen are free. And we will not stop until our people in Palestine are free.
Bring him back or face us all. Bring him back or face us all.
Turn around.
Okay, let's not. Okay, he's not resisting. He's giving me his phone, okay?
You're saying it could be more than 300
Sure,
visas?
I hope. At some point I hope we run out because we've gotten rid of all of them.
Who knows who they're going to come for next.
It is full-blown fascist intimidation. This regime administration is handing off national secrets to our adversaries while simultaneously arresting anyone who speaks out against them. And I'm going to every protest I can because this cannot stand.
I want you all to feel the power of being in community with one another today. Our dignity is at stake. Who are we if we don't stand up for our neighbors, for our comrades, for our friends?
Indeed. Rumesa. I'm sorry. You guys know I try to blacken everybody. Her name is not Ramisha. It's Rumesa. I'm sorry. My apologies, Rumesa. We still got love and solidarity for you, sis. You know, the video of her being taken off the street in Massachusetts, when I saw it, and every time I see it, it always sends a chill down my spine, guys. So in addition to having deep concerns about whether or not state agents are going to just snatch you off the fucking street, people who are masked and ununiformed and seemingly not immediately identifying themselves as law enforcement, there's a lot of concern. I've seen a lot of conversation from women on social media about whether or not this makes it open season on women walking down the street who find themselves in public spaces. Because if you see the video of Ramesa being taken, nobody intervened. Like everybody really looked at like, oh, like it was a very routine sort of encounter. Like no one seemed to be shocked or appalled or willing to intervene in some way. And that is scary as hell. For it should be for women, girls, and children, right? But like there have been a couple of instances. I think one at George Washington University, the other was at my alma mater, Temple University in Philadelphia. This probably within the last few to several weeks, where men, white men, cisgender white men, showed up in ICE t-shirts trying to gain access. In the case of Temple University, they showed up in ICE t-shirts trying to gain access to, I think, one of the freshman dorms. Unfortunately, this, whoever was working the desk, security or student security, was like, no. And I even if I now the story's coming back to me, I even think one of the men accused of impersonating ICE allegedly was in fact a Temple student, a white man. And something similar occurred at George Washington University, again, where people simply with ICE gear, like fucking ICE's polo out here. Niggas got the ICE gear, they got the ICE Nike Techs, like they got the ICE jackets and shit. These motherfuckers are cosplaying law enforcement, and I don't know how seriously actual law enforcement is taking these actual and obvious threats to vulnerable folks, and to me, more specifically, women. A young woman who works in like outreach for domestic violence survivors said that because her organization receives federal funding, that it's very likely that they will end up shutting down. But she also went on to say that her organization is noticing an uptick in calls as the economy is constricting, as people are losing their jobs, people are desperate, and when and when shit gets tight economically, the most vulnerable are the ones that suffer. Okay, women suffer in intimate partner relationships, children end up suffering varying kinds of abuse, from physical abuse to neglect, not being able to it's gonna be nasty work out here, guys. And I'm in fear that this generation, well, it actually spans generations. It's not particular to one generation, unfortunately, but we have a wide swath of males who consume problematic manospheric content. They are red pilled, they are misogynist, they hate women, they celebrate figures like Andrew Tate, your body, my choice. And what is to stop them from squatting up, riding around in their ICE gear, and snatching women up off the fucking street? Like what? Who gonna stop him? You know what I'm saying? And I think femmes, please tell me you got something on you. You have to, okay? Now, if Ramesa, I'm sure it would have been a bad idea for her to attack those ICE agents, but she didn't know they were fucking ICE agents. And I know what is legal may not actually keep you safe, right? If she'd have responded, if she'd have pulled out a weapon, they probably undoubtedly would have caused her great bodily harm. But when it comes to randoms cosplaying law enforcement and trying to snatch women up, you better be ready to defend yourself. You better be ready to tell your daughters and your nieces and your goddaughters, Uh put something on you, baby. I don't know what to tell you. I don't know if it's going to be the brass knuckles. I don't know that. And that's the problem. So many handheld weapons are illegal. I'm not even talking about handguns even, but you know, I think it's absurd that you cannot carry a knife. They'd be like, "Oh, why don't you carry pepper spray?" Cool, but you know how many videos I've seen of a determined and enraged man just eating that fucking pepper spray? Like, dog. Yo, no. We need to be able to draw blood or stop forward progress. I'm not wholesale convinced that pepper spray or mace can do that by itself. Sometimes motherfuckers need to bleed their own blood to get the goddamn point across, to let them know that you are not to be fucking played with out here and that you will defend yourself by any means necessary. And unfortunately, all of us got to be in that mindset. We have to be on that kind of time, because as we saw what Ramey said, you cannot protectors and providers where, you understand? Like, you can't expect and count on the goodwill of strangers to come rescue you when a situation that is relatively out of the norm. A lot of times people will freeze. They will fawn. They don't know what the fuck to do. Even the ones, you know, let's give people the benefit of the doubt here. Even if they're not inclined to rush in and save the day, they may not do fuck all. They may not do a goddamn thing. And that, beloveds, is simply terrifying. So at minimum, if you are going to bystand, run tape, make some noise, holler out a question. Who are you? What are you doing? Where are you taking her? You know, say something, even if you are not physically able to intervene, which I completely understand and don't recommend. If you ain't ready to be about that action, you got to do something though, son. Either be a witness or try to be a disruption to a woman's safety obviously being compromised, unfortunately, by God knows who. At this point, we don't know who is going to be the next to continue to snatch women up off the streets. I would say legally or illegally, but all that shit is illegal, so whatever. So anyway, hold on, you guys. Thanks, everybody. Come on in here. Do me a favor. Love you. Appreciate you guys. Oh, guess what, y'all? Mercury came out of retrograde. Yay! Maybe things will work better, like the stock market. I doubt it. We've got a madman pulling the levers. Hey guys, so I was a watcher of Game of Thrones. I have not watched House of Dragons, but I did watch the original Game of Thrones. And one of the lines that always stood out to me was Littlefinger's fucking conniving ass. That nigga Littlefinger was goddamn. Who's the equivalent of Littlefinger? I guess Stephen Miller. I don't know who the fuck Littlefinger is in the Trump administration, but Littlefinger said this shit. He said, "Chaos is a ladder." And y'all, shit is wild, chaotic right now. And somebody gonna climb that ladder. But in what way can we use this chaos to our advantage somehow? Like, I don't like that we're all sort of tuning in. And don't get me wrong. When I say we all, no, we are not all. There are lots of people out there actively fighting, actively organizing, actively getting shit together to try to get the rest of us organized and fighting and shit. But many of us just watch the news every day and like, oh, Trump done fucked us again. That was Monday's fucking. What about Tuesday's fucking? You know what I'm saying? Like, every day he hitting us with the motherfucking chaos Kama Sutra out this joint. We getting it from every angle, in the bad ways, all in the bad ways. So in what ways can people on our side utilize chaos as a ladder? And I guess it's maybe it is a ladder towards power, because if we build people power, that is absolutely power. Maybe not power in the Game of Thrones way that I'm thinking. So anyway, I wanted to put that Let me drop that little knock-a-pondas on y'all real quick. There you go.
Yeah, you try getting the auntie bag. I see you.
Oh, my auntie bag.
Yeah, dropping knowledge. That's what you. That's a badge of aunt. Listen, everything is not disrespect, bro.
I don't take auntie as disrespect, Will. I'm not your auntie though, nigga, because you more like little brother.
Chill. All right. I jumped on. Peace, everybody. Hope everybody's well. Thank you for joining us. We got 88 people in the chat. Watching us live. I'll say that. I did want to shout out Sith Lord Prince. It's Sith Lord. He says, "Sup, Kim." It's Sith Lord from Cincinnati, Ohio. Well, you getting in Ohio? Okay. I show your show to my students all the time. Hope all is well.
Wow. Thank you, Sith Lord Prince. Sith Lord Prince, I got a story coming out of Ohio a little bit later in the show. The rowdy whites came out. It's white on white violence. Ooh, it's Chads versus Karens. Place your bets, everybody. I don't know. Them Karens is vicious. Don't count them out. I'm sorry. Go ahead. Well, thank you, Sis Lord Prince. Did I see ZZ Lion Dad run us some bucks?
Yes, ZZ Lion. Sub ZZ Lion. ZZ Lion donated. Ran us some bucks, like you said. The Palestinian rally tomorrow in DC against ICE. Some Coon Insider, AstroTurf, Alphabet folks are trying to tell Black people don't go. You know, that's a thing. That's a thing. Shout out to ZZ Lion.
What are y'all? Well,
we always in the mix, though, ZZ Lion, for real.
Thank you,
so,
ZZ Lion.
They can talk. They tell us that all the time.
So tomorrow's the 5th.
Shout out to Commuter too. They just ran us some bucks too.
Peace, Commuter. Thank you so much. So April 5th, this is this big day of protest nationwide, right? I have that right. It's in, I guess, in part for Palestinian solidarity, but it's a broad coalition. Do I have that correct? Gang, bang, bang. I'm looking at the chat like y'all I'm about to hear you. Like, what did you say, chat? Yeah. Speak up. But yeah, so everyone that's turning out for actions. Hey, shout out to the folks from CASA, Maryland, which is an immigrants' rights and support group based out of Maryland. There was a rally today in Prince George's County. Get ICE out of Maryland. I couldn't agree more. The story that you all have been seeing, and I'm not going deeply into this. This is not on my rundown, but I just want to mention it. So many have now seen what has become now a national story of the Maryland man. I thought he was a Venezuelan national, but it turns out he is an El Salvadorian national who was mistakenly you know what? Let me correct my mainstream legacy speech. He was not mistakenly fucking deported. He was goddamn kidnapped from motherfucking Route 1 and 495 right here in College Park. They snatched his ass. He was with his family, stole him, refused to give his wife any information. This man is here legal as shit. I even think he received some sort of asylum, right? Part of the reason why this man got snatched up is because his name was in a database after I talked about this on a previous show. He had a police encounter or was stopped by Prince George's County fucking police and had a t-shirt that had a particular logo on it, and PG County assumed it was a gang logo, and they put his name in a fucking database. He hadn't done anything wrong. He had not done anything criminal, but because the police profiling ass, racist ass, not understanding broader Central American culture ass, like these people are snatching up folks because they got Jordan goddamn tattoos. Like it is mad time. So anyway, so this man seemingly will not be returned because the Trump administration claims that now that he's in El Salvadorian custody, there's nothing that they can do to return him, in spite of the federal government paying El Salvador millions of dollars to hold these prisoners now, people that are now serving time, convicted of no crime. It is just, this is not a cute situation, y'all. These are the folks that they're coming for first. You know what I'm saying? I don't know how far down we are on the list, but I'm pretty convinced we on the list. You know what I'm saying? I don't know if we 5th or 6th on the list. I don't know if we 10th, 20th on the list, but I'm pretty sure we are on the list. So anyway, fuck the police. The police entangled this man in the system because they're fucking racist pieces of shit. And the federal government took what PG County police did and accelerated it in the most horrific, disgusting, grotesque way. It is bad deals. So anyway, speaking of crackers, people seem to think I should have pulled this other fucking story too. Hold on. I don't know if I'll be able to find it in time. God damn it. I'm very concerned about the racially motivated attacks that are happening in particular to Black children. There was a story in the past week or two coming out of Brooklyn, New York, right? At the Coney Island train station, a Black teenager was jumped by what his mother says was a gang of white folks, white boys, white men, white teens, white young thugs out here. And she wants it investigated as a hate crime. I'm not certain if the NYPD are investigating it as a hate crime. Fortunately, this young man survived this attack. And this story coming out of Chicago also involves a young Black girl who was 10 years old at the time of this attack. She is now 12. And at a recent court appearance, she and her family came to put their voices on the record pertaining to the sentencing of the white woman who randomly, out of the fucking blue, attacked this little Black girl, causing her severe and permanent injuries in Chicago. Okay. For those that are watching outside of the US, many people have this mistaken belief that the most virulent racists exist in the American South. And that is not true. And unfortunately, it's never been true. Some of the most violent repression and oppression of enslaved people happened in New York City, happened in New England, happened in the upper Midwest. Okay. The whole of America is Klan country. Okay. Let us fucking be clear. Even in cities, I guess now formally as Black as Chicago. Is Chicago on the wrong end of gentrification like Washington, D.C. is here? Our once chocolate city? A little less chocolate. But I want us to go to this story. This coming out of Chicago. And again, content warning and trigger warning for the descriptions of the injuries that this girl that this girl suffered as a result of this attack from this deranged white woman. And it's safe to say she was racist because she was hollering out racist shit when she attacked this girl. But just look at what justice looks like in fucking America. Again, burn this bitch to the ground. Will, let's go to the package.
Are not usually allowed in a criminal courtroom, but today, a Chicago girl was invited into a Cook County courtroom to share her experience being the victim of a violent crime, as the woman who committed that crime was sentenced. Trinity Washington is now 12 years old, and today she wanted her voice heard in court.
It did have a huge impact on my life. I would never think this would happen to me.
Today, Alexis Davila tearfully apologized in court, but left the Layton Criminal Courthouse without comment. Davila pleaded guilty to an unprovoked attack on Trinity 2 years ago with a glass bottle in Chicago's Lawndale neighborhood. We first met Trinity in September 2023, when she was an 11-year-old in pain. Her nose was broken and her eye would be permanently damaged. She's had surgeries and therapy, but the physical and psychological pain remain. Wanda Porter addressed the court, calling this violence motivated by hate, as she and her children were called a racist slur before the attack. Porter is Trinity's mom. Davila was never charged with a hate crime, despite calls for charges to be upgraded by activists. Davila's guilty plea to aggravated battery today was part of a plea deal in which other charges were dropped, and Davila gets alcohol addiction treatment, anger management, and gets her GED. Davila previously served 5 months in jail, then 4 months on electronic monitoring. Today, she was sentenced to probation.
I feel like the justice system nowadays has failed my child, and I wish that it could have been more done. It's not fair, because I had to suffer consequences, so I think that you should suffer consequences.
Trinity's mom also shared in her victim impact statement the toll this has taken on the whole family and how she is trying to help Trinity and her son move forward.
This is something so traumatic, and I want them to know that it's light at the end of the tunnel, that we all will overcome this.
Before this attack, Trinity says she wanted to be a pediatrician. After all the medical procedures and ongoing health issues she's had to endure, she says she's even more committed to doing that. And she's writing a book to share her experiences with other children, to help them get past their traumas. She says she does not want to be defined by this incident, and she hopes others can do the same.
So, hearing that story again, do you want to scream? Do you want to sob? Or do you want to yank that white bitch by her fucking scalp and address her with hands and feet? You know, when I hear MAGAs, and not just, but, you know, MAGAs, the conservative, the crackers, you know, the racists, that really take umbrage with the actual factual retelling of America's history to their youth. One of the reasons that they give is that they don't want white kids to feel guilty. They don't want, you know, they don't want them to feel bad about America's racist past and present, right? But never such consideration is given to Black children who throughout our whole entire existence in history on this continent, Black children have never been exempt from racist violence. They were never exempt on the plantation. Post-slavery, they were never exempt. In fact, the youngest person to be put to death, George Stinney, Chad, I hope I have that name right. I'm pretty sure I do. 14-year-old boy from South Carolina was given the electric chair. It was also widely believed that young George Stinney, 14, sentenced to death, also had intellectual and learning disabilities. They killed this child. The state did, killed a 14-year-old child. Of course, most famously, Emmett Till. People know about the horrors that Emmett Till, as a young boy, experienced in his lynching and gang. We can't even go down the list of Black children that have experienced racial violence, who lost their lives to racial violence in this country. But this young lady survived. Trinity Washington. I want you to imagine the actual depravity that it takes for an adult person, man, woman, gender non-binary, a fucking adult, to attack a 10-year-old with a glass bottle, to the extent that this young lady suffered permanent damage to her vision. To her vision, guys. You know, sometimes you cannot repair vision with surgery. That's a permanent thing. And this bitch spent 5 months in prison. 5 months. I don't even know if it was fucking prison. This bitch may not have ever made it out the goddamn county. She probably did that whole 5 months in the county. What y'all think? 4 months on ankle monitoring. She's got to get her GED. It's got to go to anger management. But the judge sentenced her to probation. Wow. So much for pro-life. so much for protecting the safety of children. Because that never includes Black children. That never includes brown and indigenous children. Ever in the history of fucking ever. And I honestly cannot say what I really would like to say. If this woman was still in jail, then I would say it. But she's not in jail. And her first and last name are out there. And I won't say what I would really like to say. But there are supposed to be consequences when you harm a defenseless child. Okay. And if the child suffered permanent injury, scar, disability, you can fill in the blanks. It shouldn't be just the kid walking around with the scars of that attack that day. Why should only the child bear that? And hold on. And to be clear, it's not just the child bearing those scars, those emotional scars. Her mother is bearing those emotional scars. Her siblings are bearing those emotional scars. This fucking racist piece of shit attacked this little black girl in front of her family. And the whole family is still bearing that trauma. And Cook County didn't give a fuck. Cook County did not give an appropriate sentence to someone who violently and physically harmed a child while screaming racial epithets. That's felony territory all fucking day. That's penitentiary time. But apparently, not if you're white and not if the victim is black. I tell y'all this, right? You can always tell the severity of a sentence by looking into the race, gender, and identity of the victim. If the victim is black, the victim is female, the victim is gay, victim is disabled, victim is trans. If a conviction is gotten, if a conviction gets obtained, the sentence is going to be light. The sentence is going to be negligible. And again, I cannot lament the downfall of the empire that emboldened such a system. I understand we are going through social and economic upheaval, but when I see stories like that, and I'm reminded, not that I need much reminder, but I am reminded that there is no safe space for our children in America. There is no safe space for you. There's no safe space for me. There's no safe space for those that raise their voices up in support of Palestine. There are no safe spaces that raise their voice up in support of Black liberation. We are vulnerable. Even the strong among us are vulnerable. The weakest amongst us are absolutely more vulnerable. And we have to do what we can to stand up and defend each other in these moments, guys. But Chicago, that lady is out there. And I make no assumptions simply because she cried. Oh, she was tearful at her sentencing. Oh, Becky Water. White woman tears. Probation. I guess it worked, huh? Shit. Then white woman tears, white woman her ass into some fucking probation. But anyway, I'm sure she hasn't left Chicagoland. That's all I'm going to say. Let me take a break here. Thanks, gang. I appreciate you guys joining us. Got a good crowd in here tonight, kiddos. Yo. Hey, James, you know some thugs in Chicago. James. The homies is calling James. What's going on? Not you. You know what I'm saying? Not our upstanding brothers, you know what I'm saying? But even the most upstanding among us. No, some people willing to do a little dirt in the streets, you know what I'm saying? I'm just saying. Schultze, what's going on, Schultze? Thank you so much for being here tonight. Yupper, 99. Vesper X come through, DJ Vesper X. Shout out to KJ Sakua. Big up to Rosalba. Brenda King. Brenda. Thank you, Brenda. Not to be confused with Brenda Jenkins. Brenda Jenkins is from 227. Brenda Jenkins is Regina King for those with long memories. when Regina King, Brenda got to do the like she did the Roger Rabbit with like Bobby Brown. Y'all remember that episode? Bobby Brown came to the DC public school, I guess, and did a couple of tunes for the kids. Oh my goodness. Anyway, but thanks so much everybody for coming through. We appreciate all the support. Run it. Super chats, we will take them. Channel memberships, we'll take them. Patreon memberships, we'll take it. Patreon.com/BIDWKB. If you want to run us some support through the cash platforms, $BIDWKB on Cash App, at BIDWKB on Venmo, PayPal.me/BIDWKB. For those that ordered merch, your merch should be en route if it has not yet arrived. I looked at Shopify. I said, I don't understand what this means. So anyway, if you haven't yet received your merch, fret not. It is en route. Okay. And let me know if you have not received anything. So please. And thank you. So we're going to close out tonight's show with a bit of a palate cleanser, speaking of white folks. And let me say this, shout out to everyone that is going to be in the streets on April 5th for all the causes, for Palestinian solidarity, in defense of our undocumented brothers and sisters being deported, in defense of those that are experiencing police brutality and police violence right now. We with that, okay? For the Tesla takedown protests, all the clips that I saw, and I won't claim to have seen all the clips, but the clips that I did see representing a geographical smattering across the country of people going to the Tesla dealerships and giving Elon's company the absolute blues. It was a lot of white folks out there, y'all. It was a lot of white folks, and I was glad to see it. You know what I'm saying? Because Black people are the ones that have gotten tangible things done when it comes to, protest and march and getting policy solutions, enacted, etc., with the Civil Rights Act et al. But when it comes to tearing shit up, I know the racists think that Black folks are the best terror uppers of America. No, that is the whites all day. Okay, like. When it comes to destroying things, can't nobody fuck with the whites. You know what I'm saying? So anyway, nothing got destroyed at the clip of this Tesla takedown protest that I'm going to show you from Columbus, Ohio. Was happy to see it in Red State America. I said, y'all better come on out. Oh, we got angry whites? Oh. So this to me is a wonderful setup of two forces. We have, on one hand, we have Karens. Some of them may appear to even be Karens for righteousness. When white women Karen, it's not always a bad thing. You know what I'm saying? When white women Karen for crackerdom, that's bad. We don't like that. But when the white women Karen for righteousness, that's good. We support that. Franny, you know what I'm talking about, right? So we got Karens for righteousness and Chads for crackerdom, I suppose. If he's supporting Elon and Tesla, we can only deduce that, yes, Eric Cracker, right? So anyway, so I want you guys to look at this amazing display of white. I call it white on white violence, though it was just verbal violence, and it was some awesome verbal violence, might I add. Like nobody got physically injured, I do not think, but I love this. This is my palate cleanser because it's my favorite genre. I love it. Two pieces. So anyway, y'all, it's the Tesla takedown protest from Columbus, Ohio, and they even hit the Ohio players chant at the end of the giant. I said, I see you, righteous whites. Come on through. So Will, go ahead and run it. Make sure you start it from the beginning, Brother Will. Thank you.
Get off my fucking car! You touch that shit again, I will break your fucking fingers.
Okay, come on, bring it on. Bring it on. You're fucking Nazi. Fuck you, Nazi. Go fuck yourself.
I love you.
Why did it stop? That
Un
wasn't it?
momento. Hold on. Yeah, it froze up. Hold up.
Oh no, don't freeze
Yeah.
up. Hold
No,
on.
I'm getting it. You give me a second. Give me a second.
Okay, we're gonna get it together real quick, y'all. Did you hear my girl say "fuck you, Nazi"? Yes, you better come on out, Karens for righteousness. Fuck you, Nazi. Okay, bye. Chad told Karen he was gonna break her fingers. Karen said, "Bring that shit on." I said, "Oh shit, me put 20 down on Karen." Actually, I think Karen is with the shits, Chad. Right, you know what I'm saying? Karen out there sounding like Franny Fridge. Franny was like, "Fuck you, Nazi." Will, let me know when you're ready to run that joint back. That is, isn't that all? And we not finished, y'all. Isn't that just glorious? Glorious. Ah, nothing could be finer.
Got it.
Let's run it, bro.
Get off my fucking car! You touch that shit again, I will break your fucking fingers.
Okay, come on, bring it on. Bring it on. Fucking Nazi. Fuck you, Nazi. Go fuck yourself.
I love you.
You are a shame.
Shame! 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 If you only saw it.
I feel very, very sorry for you. You're just a little man. Little man. And you know what? I'm sorry. We need you out of the road, please.
You're a fucking traitor to the United States, you fuckface!
Falling apart. Your truck's falling apart.
Fucking traitor!
Your truck's falling
Elon Musk has got to go! Get this fucking asshole out of here!
You're a fucking traitor to your fucking country, you fuckface. Yes. Yes.
The fuck face was my favorite part too. That was my favorite part.
I don't know. I'm partial to the young Karen. Fuck you, Nazi. Fucking asshole. Hey, Will, did you see the Columbus police out there shooting no chemical munitions? Wasn't a rubber bullet, wasn't a zip tie, wasn't a kettling in sight. And that's what we need, whites, okay? Because they're not going to shoot at y'all. They're not even trained. The police, I don't even think they even know how to aim at white people, to be perfectly honest, because all in their target practice, all they do is have black faces on the target. So white folks, it's weird. You have this amazing camouflage that makes you bulletproof. Shocker. I'm telling you, way more bulletproof than let that have been all blacks. Let that have been all blacks at the Tesla dealership. Columbus police would have ran out of tear gas. Will you hear me?
Pepper spray.
They would have ran out of handcuffs. They would have had to call the paddy wagon for all the black folks that would have got arrested. So listen, whites, for the whites that are coming out and doing the thing, keep it up. Bring some more. Y'all are safe, believe it or not. I mean, I know, and people are like, well, they weren't safe at Kent State. I understand that. We're in slightly different times. So bring the motherfucking ruckus. Do more of that. So big up to the OHIO. Y'all came out and did the show. Excellent work. Excellent work. We're going to see more of it. So thanks to everybody for coming out and hanging out with us this evening. DJ Vesper X said, you know, the white folks is about it when they say bring it on. That's fighting words. Bring it on, buddy. Like that's, you know, that's anyway, That's a declaration of war. Yes. So anyway, I hope you guys enjoyed that. What's up, Will? Were you about to say something? I'm sorry.
No.
Okay. You got anything you want to tell the people before we turn them loose?
No, yeah, have a good night. Like, share to 2 different people today. Okay.
Thank you.
That's the homework.
That's the homework, gang. And excuse me. Don't forget, subscribe to Black Liberation Media if you have not already subscribed. Thanks to all that are faithful Remix Morning Show watchers, which I know is a good many of you. Thank you so much. Don't forget Saturdays with Renee, 11 a.m. Eastern. If I heard correctly, one of the special guests tomorrow will be our own Angela Walker, who is a Fire Fam member and a remixer and a fucking G amongst G's out here. So Angela Walker will be on Saturdays with Renee tomorrow on Black Liberation Media. You do not want to miss that. Please set your bells and notifications. Aside from that, gang, we will see y'all back here on Tuesday. I feel like there's something I'm supposed to say. Shout out to Alicia. Glad that you and moms made it back safely from the tropics. I'm curious how you were treated coming back into the country, because I'm hearing even U.S. citizens are getting fucking harassed and stopped and frisks and forced to attach their devices to machines. Who knows if the machines are putting something on your phone or taking things off of your phone? Who can really fucking say? Who can really say? So, Alicia, I'd be curious as to what your experience was returning back to the country and what level of scrutiny people are getting, because they checking social medias and shit, y'all. So that means all y'all in trouble. That means and who y'all? I'm y'all. All us in trouble together. So anyway, we'll figure this shit out. But anyway, please be safe this weekend if you're going out or doing anything. And I'll see y'all back here on Tuesdays. Love you guys to pieces. See you later. Bye-bye. Thanks to Will and Molly. Doses.